Hi, I'm Ginger. I'm reading from the Holy Bible. It's the King James Version. This is coming from Matthew chapter 5. And I'm going to start with verse 27. This is Jesus speaking. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. So we have to be careful not to look at people lustfully and not to think lustful thoughts of people. We do not want to have this whole scenario going on in our mind of them and us together. We need to be careful with our eye gate. Be careful what you allow through your eyes. Be careful what you gaze upon. Don't have your gaze to be a long stare at somebody, at their beauty or their handsomeness or their gorgeousness. Just don't stare at them for a long, long, long time. If you are attracted to them, then you need to guard your heart with all diligence. You need to always guard your heart with all diligence. Out of it flow the issues of life. You need to guard your eyes, guard your mind. Don't let something nest inside of you, like on your head. For an example, somebody once told me, a bird can fly past and that's not sin. But if the bird nests in your hair, makes a nest, you've allowed it to be there long enough to make a nest, that is sin. It's just a hyperbole. It's like an analogy. It means that, like, if you allow that thought to remain and remain, and you think about it and you think about it, it begins to make a nest in your mind, so to speak, then that is sin. Because you didn't cast that down right away. We need to cast down those thoughts immediately and bring them into captivity of Christ Jesus. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that the whole body should be cast into hell. So this is a hyperbole. It doesn't mean that you actually take an instrument and pluck your eye out. It means get the sin out, get the lust out, get those sexual desires out of you. If you're married, you can have sex with your spouse. You get married one time. And if you divorce, you have to stay unmarried or reconcile with your first spouse. You cannot go get a new spouse. Read Romans 7:3 for that. In fact, I'm going to flip over to Romans 7:3 right now, because most of the professing Christians either haven't read this verse, or they read it and tried to explain it away, or their pastor tried to explain it away for them, and they just believe their pastor. It says, Romans 7:3, let the husband, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong one. Here we go. Romans 7:3. So then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. But if her husband be dead, she is free from that law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man. So, if you have gotten married and it's your first spouse, and that person you married is their first marriage, then you need to stay with them. And if you did get a divorce, then you cannot remarry. You have to stay unmarried or reconcile back together. Get reconciled back together. Okay? So if you divorce, you cannot remarry a different person. You have to stay unmarried or go back to your first spouse. And if thy right eye offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, committeth adultery. So that's what I just told you about from Romans 7:3, and now I read it here with Jesus' own words in Matthew 5:32. You cannot remarry. If you've been married, and it was your first time, and you got divorced, you cannot remarry someone else. You have to stay unmarried or get reconciled back to your first spouse. Jesus Christ himself said it, and he said it in Mark 10:11 through 12 also. It's also written in Luke. Okay, again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thine oaths. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. That means if you say yes, mean yes. And if you say no, mean no. Don't lie. Don't say yes and mean no. Don't say no and mean yes. And don't flatter people. Be honest. Only give sincere compliments. Don't say something that's untrue. Okay? So thank you for listening, and God bless all who seek after God with all their heart, mind, soul, and strength.